So today we are sharing responsibilities with driving.
Whatever.
I was able to get me a little nap in. And it's raining on us. She's driving a little fast on wet pavement for my liking, but I'm just going to sit over here and tend to my business, as I've been instructed to do several times already today.
Yes, mind your own business.
Yeah, see, there we go. Mind your own business. And here's a really nice part. The temperature outside is 47 degrees right now. Considering that I'm in shorts, I may have very well underdressed for today. I'll probably have to change clothes once we get there.
It's possible.
We still got about another hour to go.
Did you tell them where we're going?
We are... No, Barbara, you're on camera. Why don't you tell them where we're going?
I'm driving.
We are on our way to Caprock Canyons State Park, southeast of Amarillo.
Kittiquay, Texas.
Near Kittiquay. We left the house about 4 o'clock this morning. It's 9:40 now, so we've been on the road for almost 6 hours. A little bit further to go. Pretty flat out here. So I'm assuming there is a canyon where it's called Caprock Canyons State Park. We'll find out when we get there. A few little hills over there. It's my chauffeur again. Anyhow, see you on the trail.
So we arrived here at Caprock Canyon at about, what was it, about 10:30 this morning?
Yep.
And as soon as we got here and started unloading things, we're car camping this weekend. It started raining. It's been raining now. It's 1:20. We just now got a little break in the rain, so we thought we'd drive around a little bit and just check out the park and see if the rain holds off so that we can do a short hike this evening and then do some longer hikes on Friday, Saturday, and possibly Sunday. So we're just kind of checking out Caprock Canyon is the official Texas State bison herd grazing prairie. So we've already seen one bison or buffalo, and the park attendant did tell us that they roam free throughout the park, so they will come into your camp area and just give them lots of room, and they'll usually just go on. So we'll see. Lots and lots of red dirt.
Hopefully it dries out pretty quickly.
Yes. Would be great. Alright, so this is the South Prong tent camping area. We just decided that the next time we come back here, we're gonna camp without electricity and camp back in here, because as you can see, the tent sites are right on the edge of the canyon. So that would be amazing. To be able to camp right here in the middle of the canyon. And they have quite a few sites. They're kind of close, but if you come in an off season, you might not be too crowded. We only saw one tent out here.
Well, and it is just
Thursday. Yeah, so if you come like during the middle of the week or off season, probably be pretty peaceful out here. Just a little information. The advantages to car camping rather than backpacking. Percolated coffee, eggs, bacon, and biscuits. No hurry. Just off the road.
Good morning. Craig and Barbara here at Caprock Canyon. Starting our first hike for the day. I say starting, we're about a mile in already. Really nice scenery. It's about 65, 70 degrees this morning. We got up about 4 o'clock yesterday morning and drove over here. Planned to do a little day hike yesterday afternoon. When we got here, or about the time we got here, it started raining. So we just kind of hung out and chilled for the rest of the afternoon. And today we're on the Upper Canyon Rim Loop Trail. And enjoying a really nice walk so far. So, let's see you on the trail. Time for us to go up.
So much for leaving no trace. That was a little
Hooray!
slip. So Craig is dedicated to leave no trace, and he went back down to get my bottles that came out of my pack. He's my hero.
And we continue up. Right down there's the trail we were on 15 minutes ago. Side.
Huh?
So this is a little on the challenging side.
Especially because it's slick.
That was graceful.
What else do you do when your feet are slipping?
See that little yellow spot over there? That's close to where we parked this morning. We came from this view, started out just to the left of that. Went around that point there, along that river bottom. Back here is just god awful. It's as much climbing as it is hiking. You can see, still got a little ways to go. That's where we're headed. Beautiful view from up here though. Just absolutely gorgeous. We're gonna go ahead and give up all that elevation we gained earlier. We're going back down in the bottom of the canyon, it looks like. I hate giving up elevation, because at some point we're gonna have to take it back. Anyhow, see you on the trail. piece of sandstone.
Okay, according to the park literature, this is a hoodoo geologic formation. It's called the Last Dance because it resembles a couple dancing. Kinda.
So we got up here a little closer to the hoodoos. Yeah, I said hoodoos. Dancing. I think he's about to throw her off the bluff, but get a little look off the other side of it. It looks like a watchdog sitting out here. So thought it was kind of interesting. Barbara says it's a poodle with a little thing on top of his head. She's full of crap. But, oh, I don't damn poodle. St. Bernard, maybe.
Okay.
Anyhow.
So it's time to cook supper. We're actually gonna have steak tonight.
Get them bad boys, would you?
And we like olive oil, just barely, you know, just kind of, I guess, soak it on the sides of the steak. And then our favorite seasoning for steak is Old Thompson Tex-Mex Chipotle seasoning. It is amazing.
Please don't order all they got.
I usually order it because I can't find it in the stores. HEB used to sell it, but they do not any longer. So I order it straight from Old Thompson. I think it's like $9, and it'll last for
3 sets of wrist.
Yeah, it lasts for probably, I don't know, 6 months or so. And we use it on steak, hamburgers, even on pork chops and chicken. But our favorite is on steak and hamburgers. The one we'll use tomorrow night on the pork chops is the same brand, but it's the habanero. And we'll show that to you tomorrow. Anyway, just thought we'd share.
New York strip and a T-bone. Look at that bloody bad boy. Good stuff.
Comes off really pretty. Are you getting that?
Go a little bit.
You didn't drop mine in the dirt, did you? Okay, so Craig has a campfire confession to make. First, when we're eating...
I thought you videoed all that.
Huh? I did. When we're eating, I noticed a little grit in my steak. And I said, mine tastes a little gritty. Are you getting that too? And he said, yeah, a little. I said, you didn't drop it in the dirt, did you? And he said, no, with a straight face. So,
that was a tough one. That was tough.
So here's his confession.
Okay, you gotta know Barbara, she's really picky. And she's trying to get the fire started. And I'm over there, I look over there and the grill is just kind of flaming up. I flip the lid open and her T-bone is just getting trashed. So I hurry up and grab it, flip it, and when I do, it slips out of the tongs and hits the dirt. And I look up, and she's still been over the fire. So I grabbed it up, raked as all the grass off I could in the dirt, threw it back on the grill. If I hadn't have done that, if she'd have known that I dropped it, she wouldn't have ate any of it. And I know she don't like the New York strip, so she would have not ate much tonight. So I did it for her own good.
Yeah, it was for my own good.
It was.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
That's love.
Yeah. Well, I'm here for both.
Anyway, we just thought we'd share that with you.